Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this fireside chat with Rishabh Mariwala. Consumer transformation and key trends that are reshaping the retail world. Today, we are going to have this candid chat with Rishabh on what he feels are the consumer trends that are reshaping the retail world and how the consumer transformation is taking shape in the retail world as well. Thanks for coming to Retail Technology Conclave, Rishabh.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Dr. Hitesh. And, RAI and us go way back, I think, with Kumar and, of course, Biju is here and Mr. Nagesh, who's on our board. So I think the whole RAI family is someone that we look up to as when we were entrepreneurs. And when I was an entrepreneur, it used to be coming here and meeting with a whole bunch of other, retailers and other brands. And I think every year I've seen the growth of RAI and how you guys have taken it. And today it's a 2-day event, and we are one of the events in of the, I don't know how many 20-30 panels that you've got.
Thanks, Rishabh, for that motivating words. The first question is understanding the modern consumer. Consumers today are changing, we all know, and we are discussing it day in and day out across the globe. Okay, and how do you see the consumer demands for transparency and ethical practices influencing the retail sectors? Before that, I just wanted to know what are your initial thoughts on what change is happening with the consumer?
Yeah. No, I think, look, there's a lot of changes happening with the consumer overall, and, there's a bunch of other investors here in the room. There were a whole bunch of entrepreneurs. Now they probably left because this is the exciting session was there earlier. But I think, look, there are multiple changes happening on multiple fronts. The obvious ones are, the Q-commerce that we keep seeing and keep hearing about. And I think that's, from the vantage point of, I think, where I sit, I'm on the board of Marico and Kaya. So Marico, to me at least, is a giant. And then we have Kaya, which is like a, mid-sized player. And then we have our startups, which are the agile and the sort of, what we call fast-moving discretionary goods. So we are FMCG, Marico is an FMCG. This is FMDG, right? Yeah. Fast-moving discretionary goods. And I think the difference is that, premiumization is real. So, this is the macros that you hear about in terms of, the rich getting richer and unfortunately the poor getting poorer is true. And that comes from, you can see smart TV purchases where there are more smart TVs than your normal TV purchases happening, or they're more, rather than the cassette ACs, it's more split ACs that are consumed rather than the cassette ACs that are consumed. So you have multiple trends. Apple is larger than HUL in the country. That's unreal. So fascinating trends that are taking place.
So since today's consumers are expecting, everything in a hyper-personalized experience way and seamless services also, what innovations do you see are making the most impact on enhancing these kind of customer service experiences and satisfaction in the retail sector?
Yeah. No, I think, look, in terms of hyper-personalization, and look, I'm sure that some of you have heard this before, so I don't want to sound like a stuck record here, but I think if we look at like our own portfolio at Sharrp, we have a company called Kioskin, and they do AI. So, you type in okay, I've got blemishes, I've got dark skin, or whatever, I've got dark circles, I've got this, then based on that, it goes to the dermatologist. The dermatologist then and it's a photograph, right? They take your photo, they literally take your photograph on the camera. That goes to the dermatologist. All the 10 questions before go to the dermat. Then the dermat says, okay, fine, this is the regime that you need, and it's all technological, right? We run Kaya's clinic, but that's physical. This is digital, right? So I think that level of personalization is unreal because it's all happening digitally. And the whole customer journey is also quite seamless because through asking those 10-15 questions, you're actually able to decode through the AI, right? Because the AI has got 10,000 more than 10, maybe 15,000 photographs of, different skin types and different skin concerns. And through that pattern recognition that the AI does, they're able to decode with the help of the dermatologist, okay, fine, what is the real issue? And then boom, there's a personalized sort of, they'll have an option of 10 different regimes at the back end, and then they suggest that one regime based on your whatever, your skin type.
You did mention about digital and data and AI. How important, according to you, is data in today's scenario? Because the last session, mostly everybody was talking about data.
Yeah.
And they said, I don't take decisions, my data takes the decision.
Yeah.
So where is the play of gut feeling or an entrepreneurial spirit or vision or being able to judge, because today's D2C brands, because they are online and they get everything measured, what is your view on data?
Yeah. No, look, I think it's at different stages of the journey, it's important. So, we run Sharrp Ventures, so we invest in like super early, so seed stage, pre-series A, and then we'll do opportunistic bets across A, B, C, whatever, right? So I think at the super early seed stage, it's all about gut. I think data, you don't get any data per se in like a seed stage. You have to, you're betting on the horse and the jockey. Actually, you're betting more on the jockey than the horse, right? The jockey is the entrepreneur, the horse is the category that you're in. So I think that's critical. And look, I think that gut, and I've seen that. That experience also teaches you where to trust your gut, right? And Biju is here. I'm sure with locations that he looks at, and I was chatting to him earlier. Seamlessly through his experience itself, he'll know. Okay, fine. This works. This doesn't work. Intuitively, you can tell in terms of, for example, location. It's across the board. But when I see my father looking at commodities, right? And in Marico, it's, buying and sell. What's the right time to buy? What's the right time to, if I want to push the price of parachute up by 2 rupees more, is it worthwhile to take that call? These are gut calls, right? Okay, fine. Of course, data will tell you commodity pricing is shot up in coconuts, but then do you act on it? How quickly do you act on it? It's gut. I think so. So I think you need a balance. At least, look, I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I'm not one to ascribe to only data. I would want to keep some weightage to gut as well.
Exactly, and this is what the difference is. The data will definitely give you the numbers, but what it doesn't give is what the entrepreneur's vision and gut feeling gives. So that's the difference between data and not having a data. But what are the parameters you look at? Because you have invested in so many companies. So what parameters you look at when you invest in a company, Rishabh?
Yeah. So, great question. I think, it's horses for courses. So I would think that, at an early stage it will be very different from mid stage, will be very different from late stage. So I think, from the early stage perspective, definitely and super early stage, definitely fine. Is there a quick and dirty product there? Is there is there passion? Ethics goes across the board. That goes without saying, frankly, right? If there's any shortcuts happening with the entrepreneur saying, that's complete no-go. But I think other than that, just in terms of, that super early stage, you want, I think, again, I'm being cliched about it, but EQ, GQ, not IQ, but what's the grit quotient? What's the emotional quotient? I think, those are also real, right? And in today's day and age, fine, everyone out there, you got most of the startup guys coming out from your IIMs and stuff, right? So, how do you assess between them who's going to be, how can you, what I call the nose for the entrepreneur? How can you assess if this entrepreneur will make it or break it, right? And I think there's that gut comes in there, and I think having that pattern recognition to figure out, right, who is that? Is this? You can get it wrong. I'm not saying you get it right all the time, but I do think that there's something called a nose for, okay, fine, this guy, this girl's going to make it.
Well, how important is the pedigree here? Not much?
To be frankly, not much. Yeah, if they've worked in in a corporate job, they've left that, or they've had some crazy life events. I think those life events or the why of what they're doing, I mean, I put a lot of focus on the why. Like, why they're doing what they're doing. To me, that's a big deal, because if it's just one other thing, oh, I'm doing it because it's a hobby or something like that, beyond a point, I don't think that's going to fly, right? It has to be a deeper reason. They will have some really probably hard childhood, I don't know, whatever, like, it could be hard childhoods, it could be some life events, it could be, I'm doing this because I believe that, something dramatic happened in their life, and boom, they want to make a difference,
Small versus big businesses, you have been investing across. What are the key differences when supporting the D2C startups vis-a-vis the large entities?
Yeah. I think that the large entities, I would definitely think that the whole part on data and relying on, I think, systems, processes, governance is just way, way, way more important. For example, like, my colleague is here and we just rejected a bunch of deals we rejected, right? Just because 250 crore business, right? There's no CFO. Right? And we said no, right? Why? The founder might be doing good, but where is your governance out there? At a 250 crore business, should you not have a CFO in place? I don't know. It's a simple. I'm happy to question the audience on this. Would they do it? Would they not do it? But like from our case, we said no. We're not going to do it because where there's smoke, there's fire. You can't. If you're in the room with your entire top team, right, and only the founders talking, and the team has their mouth shut, that's not a good sign. Like, that's just not a good sign. So for us, I think, we'll evaluate the early stage. I think it's super early stage is fine if the founder is super aggressive. I mean, aggressive in a good way, not aggressive in a negative way, but wants to get things done, has the drive. It's from everything from swiping the cleaning the floors to doing the big stuff, right? You want stuff like that as well, right? Ownership across the board. You don't want I'm going to be the investor out there and I've got 5 other co-founders and this is my job and this is your job. I mean, that to me is like, again, a no-go. So I think it depends on the stage, age of the founder and the business, and that can help sort of define and decide.
Stage and age, but what would be your preference if I have to ask for a vanilla offering? Okay, if this is there, then Rishabh is interested. Something that
I mean, I want the best deals. I want all the deals. I'm greedy for deal flow. So any entrepreneur that comes to us, please, like, we're happy to talk. We will talk. We have no problem. I think the more the deals, the better, because I think in this age, information asymmetry is everything. So I think we have to be out there as a fund, and I'm sure the other funds are out there as well. But getting access to me is critical. I'll do anything to get access. I think that's super important, and that's top of mind for us.
Rishabh, as technology is, reshaping the consumer expectations, how do you integrate emerging trends such as AI, ML, etc. into your investment strategies?
Yeah, so I mean, there's stuff like you can use their tools that are available to understand what Amazon bestsellers are. There are tools like that, or scraping. I mean, some of them are like borderline illegal, so I don't know. We've not even done it yet. But they have these web crawlers and things like that. So we haven't done it, but I think stuff like that is out there. But I don't know how in the legality part of it, how legal it is. But I mean, that's one part. But I think internally also, I think fellow, right, Copilot. I think stuff like using Copilot for your meetings. It's phenomenal tool. Boom, you get all the access to your meeting notes. You get access to the actionables. It's just super seamless. It costs a fraction. I think what we tell our portfolio companies is, hey guys, there's stuff like Canva for your marketing. There's, I think, Glean.ai for I think your supply chain. There is I think there's another tool for all your imagery, right? For all your you don't need to use a Getty image, right? You can just go and you type it in and boom, the stuff shows up, right, in terms of what image you want for your creatives. So I think across the board, using AI across your systems and processes. I mean, some of this stuff is new to the country, so I think that there's still a journey in terms of adoption. But I think it's a matter of time before this picks up. And look, I think the price points also, if they're sachet size price points which startups can afford, I don't see why they shouldn't. And we are pushing I mean, forget our portfolio, at least to begin with, it's a Marico or a Kaya saying that, hey guys, are you all looking at this, are you all doing this? Then when they adopt it, okay, fine. Then you go to the portfolio, and then within the portfolio, they're the big boys and the small guys and then the really small guys, and what are they doing? And I think learning from them, sometimes they're more ahead of the curve than we are as investors. So actually learning from them is critical.
What according to you are the, I won't say, okay, let me put it this way, which are the sectors that you feel are most promising in the next couple of years?
Wow. I think there are a lot of sectors, yeah. Some of it will be a repeat and regurgitate of what other folks are saying, but I think, look, everything from, I think snacking to us is there. I think pet food is there. Pet, and then within pet, I mean, you can slice and dice that, but there's a subcategories and sub niches that are real. I mean, I wish I had a crystal ball. I could tell you these are the phenomenal sectors. But like home care is there, kitchen is there. There's even like I think like sometimes it's building materials, or sometimes it's what we use in our homes, but it's like a cheaper variant of that, right? Because I think a good indicator is, okay, fine, in luxury homes, what are the products that are used, and then say if there are windows for those luxury homes, which are super expensive, right? Which are like, and it's available at the, whatever, you ask your contractor and he said, nahi, ye, iska price 1 lakh hai. And like, boss, pagal ho gaya, right? Like, are you nuts? Like, and then there'll be a way cheaper variant, which is an Indianized version of it. It could, I'm not saying it's a knockoff, but it's the quality might not be like 100% right there, but look, if it's 60% there, you're good to go, So I think stuff like that, where it's innovating on global, on what's available globally. Actually, even Zudio is a phenomenal example of just, taking from Zara and implementing that playbook, right? It's a phenomenal story, like mind blowing.
What gives you sleepless nights, and not in reality, about the investments that you have made? And this is more from the perspective that what you feel that the current startups, D2C founders, etc., are not doing right or may fail in doing certain things.
Yeah, I think that 2 or 3 things. One is like sustenance on burn, like burning too much, and we discussed that as a team as well, saying that look, how much are they burning, and just being mindful of that, because sustainable. It's okay to, even sometimes it's okay to grow slowly versus trying to grow too fast and then just falling like a falling knife, right? It just coming down very dramatically, right? And then lack of funding. I think that's just silly and stupid to do. But like I would think like even founders getting it wrong in terms of governance, or taking just decision making abruptly. So without the right checks and balances, taking decision making on big spends, I think we've fallen prey to that, where some 1 or 2 of our portfolio companies have just gone astray, even with having quality advisors on the cap table, the quality mentors, but they just don't want to listen, right? Just not listening and just being stubborn, just because, oh, I think it's going to win. But you can't bet the house. You bet 20% of your capital on that. Don't bet the whole house on it. And I think those are the things that it's real for us in terms of what even founders have got wrong in our portfolio, and we had to write off those deals. So, and it can happen at any stage, right? It can happen at 200 crore, 300 crore. They just get to they drink their own Kool-Aid, and they get too caught up in their own growth, because they attend panels like this, and they get high because they get all the adulation, and it's too soon for them to get all this adulation, and they think that they've as like one of the founders said, her founder makes Steve Jobs hota hai, right? So they think they become Steve Jobs, and then they just lose the plot.
What would be Rishabh Mariwala next project or step, in terms of any project that you are planning, or what would be your next launch?
So there's a lot that we're doing actually, but I think from our end, look, we're a family office, so our journey is just to keep institutionalizing. So I think we want to keep being a value-added consumer investor. I think that's our sort of a North Star, where we want to continuously value add, and we want to build depth in those companies. So take larger stakes and bet bigger, bet bolder, and I think that will only come through time because of our wins. So if we keep winning better in the deals that we are present in, and we add value back to the entrepreneur, I think to us the North Star is saying that if these founders, if an Aman or a Tarun who invested in, right, the guy at Neiman's and the guy at McAfee, for example, said, oh wow, we've got Sharrp on board, and Sharrp is a phenomenal support system for us. I think, we've done a good job.
What advice you would give to the budding entrepreneurs who would like to carve a niche, create a category, or challenge or change the consumption patterns and demands?
So again, I'm going to sound a little theoretical, but like I just heard like Jensen Huang, the NVIDIA founder, and he was talking to Stanford grads, and he said that look, and he's talking to Stanford folks. He's like, listen, all you guys are so smart, and that's the problem because you are at Stanford, you already have high expectations of yourself. Because you have high expectations of yourself, your ability to withstand failure is actually pretty low. Your resilience, you don't have a high resilience in yourself. And so he said, I wish you guys hardship, I wish you guys failures, and I think that's what's going to build you up. So I think genuinely, that's what I recommend.
Excellent. Final question, 5 years down the line, where can we see Rishabh Mariwala?
I think, as my colleague put it, think sharp, think consumer. Exactly where doing what we are doing today, swimming in our lane, sticking to our knitting, and doing what we do best, and just building from there.
Excellent. That was Rishabh Mariwala for us, a short, quick fireside chat. Thank you, Rishabh, for coming and sharing all your insights.
Thank you
it
so
was
much.
Pleasure hearing you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to Retail Technology.
Thank you so much. Thank you.